morning in Japan unfolds with quiet purpose. A faint hum of activity begins long before the day's rush. The ritual is not about haste, but about awakening the body with respect. A glass of warm water before sunrise, gentle stretches, and the scent of green tea steeping. These simple acts form the invisible foundation of the Japanese metabolism. Unlike many Western routines, where the day starts with caffeine jolts and digital notifications, Japanese mornings begin with balance, not bombardment. This subtle difference may be one of the hidden secrets behind their natural leanness and graceful aging. The body, after hours of rest, craves gradual activation. In Japan, stretching and light movement are part of daily life, not reserved for gym sessions. The gentle bending and breathing, often seen in elderly communities during early walks or group exercises in parks, stimulate circulation and awaken internal energy. Such practices are not about burning calories but reactivating life's rhythm. Western culture tends to treat mornings as races against time. Japan treats them as rituals to align body and mind. That alignment subtly prepares metabolism to work efficiently through the day. Hydration is another silent ritual. Instead of immediately reaching for coffee, many Japanese begin their mornings with warm water or tea. This practice flushes the digestive system and supports liver function, which plays a vital role in metabolic balance. While Western habits often introduce sugar and dairy right away through lattes and sweetened cereals, Japanese mornings are often lighter, a bowl of miso soup, rice, or fish, meals designed to comfort the stomach rather than overload it. It's a philosophy of gentle awakening rather than instant stimulation. There is also the cultural element of presence. Eating, stretching, and even walking in the morning are done with mindfulness. Each motion carries intention. The absence of rush allows hormones like cortisol and insulin to regulate naturally, avoiding the metabolic chaos caused by stress and abrupt consumption. For elderly Japanese women, this mindful rhythm becomes a silent protector against weight gain, inflammation, and fatigue. The body learns consistency, and consistency is the invisible thread that holds wellness together. Hidden within this simplicity lies a warning. Modernization has begun to erode some of these traditions. Convenience breakfasts, processed drinks, and skipped meals are creeping into urban Japanese lifestyles, mimicking the Western pattern of rush and restlessness. The result? Rising rates of metabolic disorders that were once rare in Japan. The ancient morning ritual is not merely cultural nostalgia, it's biological wisdom. Preserving it means preserving equilibrium. As the morning sun climbs higher, the pace of life quickens. Yet, for those who still honor these simple beginnings, the day unfolds differently, lighter, calmer, more in tune. The secret that keeps Japanese women slim may not lie in what they do occasionally, but in what they repeat daily with grace and intention. From this foundation of calm discipline emerges another equally powerful custom, the art of mindful eating. In Japan, eating is not a mechanical act. It is a quiet dialogue between the body and the mind. The phrase hara hachi bu, rooted in Okinawan tradition, carries the meaning, eat until you are 80% full. It is both a reminder and a restraint, a way to stop before satisfaction turns into excess. For generations, Japanese women have internalized this rhythm, allowing digestion to work in harmony with satiety. Rather than counting calories or chasing diets, they cultivate awareness. This restraint, wrapped in mindfulness, is one of the subtle reasons their figures remain balanced throughout life. When meals begin, the pace is unhurried. Food is served in small bowls, each portion measured not by scarcity, but by elegance. The act of placing chopsticks down between bites, sipping tea, and appreciating presentation slows the entire process. The stomach, given time, signals fullness accurately. Western eating patterns, often rushed and distracted, interrupt this communication, leading to overconsumption before the body can respond. In Japan, however, eating is treated almost as meditation, each taste deliberate, each pause meaningful. This deepens the connection between nourishment and satisfaction. The cultural design of meals reinforces moderation, Japanese dishes are diverse in texture and color but modest in quantity. Small servings encourage variety without indulgence. A traditional meal might include miso soup, grilled fish, rice, pickled vegetables, and a small side of fruit, not large portions of a single dish. The visual abundance of many small items satisfies the senses while keeping actual intake balanced. Science now supports what culture long understood. Visual satisfaction and slower eating both reduce caloric excess and improve digestion. The mindful approach also protects emotional health. Eating without rush lowers cortisol and promotes better nutrient absorption. Many Western habits, eating while watching screens or standing, keep the body in a mild state of stress. Japan's quiet focus during meals offers the opposite, a moment of grounding in the midst of life's rhythm. Especially for elderly women, this calm connection with food preserves not only physical health, but also mental clarity and digestive comfort, two cornerstones of aging gracefully. Yet, as with morning rituals, modernity threatens this equilibrium. Fast food chains, oversized portions, and time pressures have begun to reshape younger generations' habits. The principle of hara hachi bu risks fading into nostalgia. But for those who still practice it, each meal remains an act of self-respect, not restriction. It's a discipline that doesn't demand control, but invites awareness. To stop eating just before fullness is to leave space for gratitude, space for balance. Through mindful eating, the Japanese have turned nourishment into a form of meditation, protecting both waistline and well-being. This gentle restraint, practiced daily, keeps metabolism efficient and inflammation low. And as meals end, life continues in motion. Not through exercise routines or gym sessions, but through the quiet constancy of daily movement woven into every ordinary act. Movement in Japan rarely begins with intention to exercise. It happens naturally, seamlessly as part of life's rhythm. Walking to the train station, carrying groceries by hand, sweeping the floor, or tending a garden, these simple actions accumulate into what scientists now call non-exercise activity thermogenesis, the quiet burning of calories that occurs outside the gym. For Japanese women, particularly the elderly, this constant gentle motion keeps the body lean, flexible, and alive. It is not about exertion or exhaustion. It is about constancy. Movement is not an interruption of life. It is life itself. In cities like Tokyo or Kyoto, it is common to see people walking briskly to work, standing on public transport, or climbing stairs without thought. Cars are used sparingly. Distances that might seem inconvenient elsewhere are simply part of the daily routine. The act of walking is not just transportation, but meditation, a rhythm of balance and breath. Western cultures often separate movement from daily life, enclosing it in gyms or exercise classes. Japan integrates it effortlessly into every hour. This difference, quiet yet profound, reshapes metabolism over decades. For older Japanese women, these habits are a lifeline. Light activity keeps muscles engaged, bones strong, and circulation steady. Instead of relying on high-intensity workouts, they rely on repetition, a walk to the market, kneeling during tea preparation, sweeping tatami mats. These gestures may appear small, but together they form a foundation of physical resilience. Studies confirm that consistent low-intensity movement enhances longevity and reduces chronic disease risk. It is not the intensity, but the persistence that protects. There is also a social rhythm to movement. Morning and evening group exercises, known as Rajyotiso, are broadcast daily on radio and television. Entire communities, from school children to retirees, join in synchronized stretches lasting only a few minutes. The practice is so ingrained that it transcends generations. It reinforces not only physical health but also social connection, which itself supports longevity. A simple routine shared with others becomes a ritual of belonging, a moving meditation that keeps isolation and immobility at bay. Yet as urbanization grows, these habits face erosion. Sedentary work, long hours, and convenience culture tempt many to trade motion for comfort. Elevators replace stairs, cars replace bicycles, and the quiet dance of daily life slows. The result is subtle: stiffness, fatigue, creeping weight, signs that the body misses its natural rhythm. The wisdom of older generations reminds us that vitality is not found in effort, but in engagement. To move often is to remain connected to life's pulse. The Japanese secret, then, is not in exercising more, but in moving always, lightly, rhythmically, without resistance. This approach preserves metabolism, posture, and spirit. As the day unfolds, this movement intertwines naturally with nourishment. And within that nourishment lies another layer of hidden wisdom. The fermented foods that nurture not just the body's strength, but the invisible world within it. Fermented foods hold a sacred place in Japanese life, not as trendy health items, but as everyday essentials. Miso soup at breakfast, natto with rice, pickled vegetables beside every meal. These are quiet, consistent acts of care for the body. Beneath their simplicity lies a complex biological partnership, the cultivation of beneficial bacteria that nourish the gut. The Japanese have long understood, without modern terminology, that a healthy digestive system supports not only metabolism, but mood, immunity, and longevity. For women who age gracefully and remain slim, this harmony between food and flora is indispensable. Miso, made from fermented soybeans, salt, and koji, a cultured rice starter, is rich in probiotics and enzymes. Consumed daily, it supports digestion and provides a steady source of plant-based protein. Natto, another fermented soybean product, is sticky, strong-smelling, and beloved for its power to strengthen bones and reduce inflammation. Modern science attributes these effects to nattokinase, an enzyme that supports circulation and heart health. Then there are tsukemono, the traditional pickled vegetables that accompany nearly every Japanese meal. They cleanse the palate, aid digestion, and supply natural probiotics without the need for supplements. This deep connection to fermented foods is more than nutrition, it is culture. The process of fermentation requires patience, days, weeks, even months. It mirrors the Japanese rhythm of life, deliberate, slow, and precise. Each jar of miso or natto embodies the principle of respect for time. This slowness contrasts sharply with the Western pace of food production, where speed often replaces quality. The result is food stripped of vitality, preserved with chemicals instead of nature's own microorganisms. What Japan does instinctively, nurturing microbes, Western diets have only recently begun to rediscover through probiotic trends. However, even within Japan, modernization carries hidden dangers. Many prepackaged versions of miso or pickles now contain excess sodium, preservatives, or pasteurization that destroys beneficial bacteria. Supermarkets offer convenience but sacrifice authenticity. The fermented foods that once built robust health can, when altered, contribute to imbalances instead of healing. The key is returning to traditional preparation, where fermentation is alive, not sterilized. The connection between gut and metabolism is now scientifically clear. A diverse microbiome influences how efficiently the body extracts energy, stores fat, and regulates inflammation. Japanese women, through generations of fermented food consumption, have unknowingly supported these delicate microbial ecosystems. This natural balance protects against weight gain, bloating, and metabolic sluggishness, issues common in processed modern diets. It is not magic, but microbial wisdom. To preserve this tradition is to preserve the body's inner garden. Each spoon of miso, each bite of natto, each crisp pickle sustains an invisible network of life within. The gut, when cared for, rewards its host with energy and equilibrium. From these ancient jars of fermentation emerges yet another ritual, one that warms, cleanses, and awakens from within. The daily cup of Japanese tea, where simplicity and metabolism meet once again. Tea in Japan is more than a beverage, it is a ceremony of awareness. From the frothy green matcha of temples to the roasted aroma of hojicha served at home, each cup holds centuries of quiet wisdom. The Japanese relationship with tea is both cultural and biological, a ritual that nurtures calm focus while subtly supporting metabolism. The warmth of tea, the stillness of the moment, and the chemical compounds within the leaves form a delicate balance that sustains vitality and grace. For Japanese women, these daily cups are not indulgence but discipline, shaping their internal rhythm as much as their outer form. Green tea, especially sencha and matcha, contains catechins, powerful antioxidants that enhance fat oxidation and improve insulin sensitivity. Among them, epigallocatechin gallate, EGCG, has been widely studied for its role in reducing body fat and protecting cells from oxidative stress. But the benefits extend beyond chemistry. Tea drinking slows time. It encourages pauses between meals, replaces sugary drinks, and calms emotional cravings. When the hands hold a warm cup, the nervous system softens, digestion deepens, and the impulse to overconsume diminishes. In that stillness, the metabolism finds balance without struggle. Hojicha, a roasted green tea often preferred in the evening, offers another dimension. Its lower caffeine content and soothing aroma make it a natural transition toward rest. Elderly Japanese women favor it not just for its flavor but for the serenity it provides. The act of sipping tea after a meal, surrounded by quiet conversation or gentle silence, signals the body to settle. This moment of ritual helps regulate cortisol, the stress hormone linked to weight retention. The beauty lies not only in the drink but in the deliberate calm that surrounds it. However, as global demand for matcha and other Japanese teas grows, hidden risks appear. Low-quality imports contaminated with pesticides or mixed with artificial flavors have flooded markets. Even within Japan, excessive tea consumption or reliance on caffeinated varieties late in the day can disturb sleep and hormonal balance. The wisdom of the tea ritual depends not on quantity but on quality and timing. The body thrives on moderation, the very essence of Japanese philosophy. Science now validates what culture has long practiced. The combination of antioxidants, mild caffeine, and ritual mindfulness contributes to better fat metabolism, mental clarity, and longevity. But what gives tea its real power is consistency, the daily repetition of mindful calm, cup after cup, year after year. It becomes a rhythm of restoration, a bridge between nourishment and peace. Each cup, each pause, sustains the same quiet equilibrium found in other parts of Japanese life: simplicity, moderation, and respect for the present. Yet beyond what is consumed lies another secret force that supports health and slenderness, not within the body, but around it. The environment itself, shaped by minimalism and serenity, holds the next key to the enduring balance of Japanese living. In Japan, space breathes. Rooms are uncluttered, homes are orderly, and even the smallest apartments carry a sense of calm. This minimalism is not an aesthetic choice alone. It is a form of mental hygiene that shapes physical well-being. The Japanese concept of ma, the space between things, creates silence within the noise of daily life. By reducing visual and mental clutter, the body's stress response eases and metabolism steadies. In these clean, quiet environments, Japanese women preserve not just the tidiness of their homes but the harmony of their inner worlds. Stress is one of the most powerful hidden disruptors of metabolism. When cortisol levels rise, the body stores fat, slows digestion, and inflames the system. Modern Western lifestyles, crowded with possessions and endless stimuli, keep the nervous system in a constant state of alert. Japan's tradition of simplicity works as the antidote. Minimalism allows focus. Clean lines and open spaces mirror mental clarity, and the act of tidying itself, known globally through danshari or the practice of letting go, becomes a physical meditation. Each drawer cleaned, each object released, lightens the burden of the mind. For elderly Japanese women, maintaining a simple home is a quiet discipline that continues throughout life. Sweeping, folding, and organizing are gentle movements that double as daily exercise, promoting flexibility and balance. The rhythmic nature of these tasks engages the body without strain, while their outcome, an orderly space, brings emotional satisfaction. The reward is both visual and physiological: reduced stress hormones, smoother digestion, and more stable energy. It is a perfect illustration of how environment shapes biology. Science now confirms that cluttered environments elevate stress and hinder decision-making, often leading to poor food choices or emotional eating. In contrast, serene surroundings lower anxiety and promote self-regulation. Japan's architectural philosophy, emphasizing natural light, simplicity, and connection to nature, aligns seamlessly with this understanding. The soft tatami floors, sliding paper doors, and open gardens all encourage stillness, a state in which the body can repair and restore. It is no coincidence that such calm environments correspond with lower obesity rates and longer lifespans. However, the growing tide of consumerism and digital distraction challenges this tradition. Homes filled with gadgets, fast fashion, and constant online engagement threaten the peace that once defined Japanese living. The wisdom of simplicity now demands conscious effort to preserve. Yet for those who continue to practice it, minimalism remains medicine. It is not about deprivation, but about prioritizing what truly matters: a clean space, a steady mind, a body at ease. In the stillness of a tidy room, the breath slows, digestion calms, and tension dissolves. The absence of clutter becomes presence itself, a state where health can quietly thrive. This harmony of simplicity naturally extends into the night, when the body seeks renewal through rest. And as the moon replaces the sun, another timeless Japanese ritual begins: the art of aligning sleep with nature's rhythm. Night in Japan arrives softly. Lights dim, conversations fade, and the day exhales. This gentle transition between activity and rest reflects a national respect for rhythm, a recognition that health depends not only on what we do while awake, but also on how we surrender to sleep. Japanese culture treats rest as a continuation of mindfulness, not an afterthought. The rituals that prepare the body for night are as intentional as those that begin the morning, creating a seamless cycle of balance that sustains metabolism, mood, and longevity. Traditionally, Japanese homes follow the natural cycle of light. Evening begins with soft illumination: paper lanterns, warm bulbs, or candlelight, allowing the eyes and nervous system to retreat from stimulation. Meals are taken earlier, often light and broth-based, to ease digestion. Afterward, baths play a central role. The evening soak, or ofuro, is a deeply ingrained custom that relaxes muscles, improves circulation, and lowers core body temperature, all signals that prepare the body for deep sleep. These habits are not luxuries. They are acts of biological intelligence passed quietly through generations. The sleeping environment, too, embodies simplicity. Traditional futons are rolled out on tatami mats and stored away by morning, allowing the sleeping space to remain uncluttered and flexible. The firmness of the futon encourages proper posture and breathing, while the absence of bulky furniture promotes airflow and cleanliness. The room itself becomes a sanctuary of calm, stripped of distraction. In contrast, many Western bedrooms filled with screens and artificial light keep the body's internal clock confused and the mind alert long after bedtime. Science now echoes what Japanese wisdom has long known. Consistent circadian rhythms regulate hormones such as melatonin and leptin, which govern sleep quality and appetite. When these rhythms are disrupted, by late-night eating, bright screens, or irregular sleep, metabolism suffers. Weight gain, fatigue, and insulin resistance often follow. Japanese women, through their nightly rituals, maintain this balance naturally. Their calm evenings allow cortisol to decline and the body to shift into restoration mode, preserving lean muscle and steady energy. Yet, as urban life accelerates, these practices are fading. Late work hours, bright neon cities, and the lure of digital devices disrupt the tranquility once found in every home. Sleep becomes shorter, lighter, and more fragmented. The challenge now is not lack of knowledge, but lack of pause. To reclaim the wisdom of rest, one must treat night as sacred, a daily return to silence, order, and renewal. When sleep aligns with nature, the body remembers how to heal. The heart slows, the breath deepens, and metabolism recalibrates. It is in this nightly surrender that the slimness and vitality of Japanese women are quietly preserved. And as dawn approaches once more, the cycle of balance continues. This time through what they choose to eat, guided by the turning of seasons and the wisdom of the earth itself. Each season in Japan carries its own flavor, color, and rhythm. Cherry blossoms in spring, cool soba in summer, roasted chestnuts in autumn, and hot soups in winter. The Japanese table changes as the earth does. This devotion to shun, the practice of eating what is in season, lies at the heart of the nation's health and longevity. It ensures that food is always fresh, nutrient-rich, and aligned with the body's natural needs. For Japanese women, this harmony between nature and nourishment sustains vitality while quietly preventing weight gain and metabolic imbalance. Seasonal eating does more than celebrate variety. It trains the body to adapt. In summer, light water-rich foods such as cucumbers, tofu, and chilled noodles cool the system and prevent dehydration. In winter, warm broths, root vegetables, and grilled fish build strength and heat. Each choice supports balance. By contrast, Western diets often ignore these cycles, relying on imported produce and processed goods available year-round. The result is a disconnection between body and environment, one that dulls natural appetite regulation and burdens digestion. Local sourcing is another cornerstone of Japanese eating. Food travels short distances from farm to market, retaining freshness and reducing the need for preservatives. Elderly women shopping daily at neighborhood markets embody this tradition. They choose ingredients by sight, smell, and season rather than labels or marketing claims. Their baskets are filled with colorful plants, seaweed, and fish, not packaged snacks. The act of selecting food becomes both physical exercise and mindfulness practice, reinforcing a bond with the community and the land. Science supports these customs. Seasonal and locally grown produce contains higher nutrient density and antioxidant levels compared to out-of-season or imported foods. Additionally, eating with the rhythm of nature helps regulate gut bacteria and hormones related to hunger and metabolism. Studies show that aligning meals with daylight and temperature cycles enhances energy and reduces inflammation. What culture preserved through intuition, science now confirms with data. But as globalization expands, so does temptation. Convenience stores and imported health foods, protein bars, smoothies, and packaged salads often replace fresh meals. Though marketed as nutritious, many of these products contain hidden sugars, additives, or refined oils that disrupt metabolism. The risk lies in losing the wisdom of simplicity to the illusion of progress. The Japanese approach reminds us that true nourishment requires patience, attention, and connection. To eat seasonally is to live with awareness. It transforms food from a commodity into a conversation with nature. Each meal becomes an act of gratitude, a recognition that health begins in the soil, the sea, and the passing of time. From this deep respect for the earth arises another secret of longevity: the power of community. Because food in Japan is rarely eaten alone, and in that shared experience, the heart finds balance just as surely as the body does. In Japan, eating is rarely a solitary act. Meals are moments of connection, quiet gratitude, and shared presence. Whether it is a family gathered around a low table or neighbors enjoying tea after a morning walk, food becomes the bridge that binds people together. This social rhythm, the habit of eating in company, is a hidden force behind Japan's remarkable health and longevity. For elderly Japanese women, it offers not just nourishment but belonging, purpose, and emotional stability, all of which play vital roles in sustaining physical balance and slimness. Loneliness is a silent epidemic in many modern societies, often linked to overeating, stress, and poor sleep. In contrast, the Japanese way of community-centered living protects against these invisible threats. In Okinawa, one of the world's blue zones, lifelong social circles known as moai provide companionship and support. Members share meals, check on one another, and exchange small acts of care. The result is lower stress, reduced inflammation, and a sense of accountability that naturally regulates lifestyle habits. When you eat with others, you eat slower, make better choices, and listen more closely to your body's signals. There is also a profound cultural respect for elders. In multi-generational households, older women often lead meal preparation, passing down recipes and traditions that reinforce identity and continuity. Cooking becomes a source of pride and purpose rather than labor. This engagement keeps both mind and body active, nurturing dexterity, creativity, and social interaction. The simple act of serving food to others transforms nourishment into an expression of love, a psychological balm that reduces anxiety and boosts overall well-being. Science echoes these traditions. Studies show that people who eat in company tend to have lower body mass indices, better cardiovascular health, and improved digestion compared to those who eat alone. Shared meals trigger the release of oxytocin and serotonin, hormones that reduce stress and promote satisfaction. The Japanese custom of beginning a meal with itadakimasu, I humbly receive, and ending with gochi susama deshita, thank you for the meal, reinforces gratitude, further calming the nervous system and improving metabolic efficiency. But even in Japan, urban isolation is rising. Single-person households and long work hours threaten to erode this communal fabric. Convenience store dinners eaten in silence are becoming more common. Yet the wisdom remains accessible. Every shared cup of tea, every meal enjoyed slowly in company, rebuilds the social health that sustains physical vitality. The lesson is timeless. We are nourished not only by what we eat, but by whom we share it with. In the end, Japanese slenderness and longevity are not products of restriction but of rhythm. Morning rituals, mindful eating, movement, and community, all woven into daily life. What ties them together is a mindset, the quiet belief in steady improvement. And in this final secret lies the true essence of the Japanese way, the art of small, consistent habits that shape a lifetime of balance. The enduring grace of Japanese women is not built on extremes but on constancy. Beneath every ritual, the morning stretches, the mindful meals, the simple homes, the seasonal dishes, lies a philosophy known as Kaizen, continuous, gentle improvement. Rather than chasing rapid change or punishing routines, the Japanese approach embraces progress through small, deliberate steps. It is this quiet persistence that shapes both health and mindset. Over years, these micro-habits weave a lifestyle of balance where the body adapts, the mind steadies, and beauty arises as a natural outcome of discipline. Kaizen is less about ambition and more about devotion. Each day offers an opportunity to refine, to take one more walk, to eat one less bite, to breathe one deeper breath. The process never ends, and that is precisely its strength. Western culture often seeks transformation in weeks or months, measuring success by speed. In Japan, improvement is measured by sustainability. A habit that lasts a lifetime, no matter how small, is more powerful than a grand effort that fades. This perspective shields the body from the stress of extremes, the diets, fasts, and detoxes that often do more harm than good. For elderly Japanese women, this philosophy becomes second nature. They do not view wellness as a battle against aging, but as a conversation with time. A morning walk, a well-prepared meal, an evening bath. These are not chores, but expressions of respect for the body that carries them. The repetition itself becomes a rhythm, anchoring both metabolism and mood. Science supports this pattern. Consistent routines regulate hormones, stabilize blood sugar, and maintain muscle tone, all crucial factors for longevity and healthy weight. Yet, the modern world constantly tempts us with shortcuts. Supplements promise miracles, diets promise instant results, and technology promises effortless health. The danger lies not only in their ineffectiveness, but in the loss of patience they breed. The Japanese secret reminds us that true wellness is earned slowly. It thrives on awareness, gratitude, and endurance, qualities that require no special equipment, only intention. A cup of tea, a 10-minute stretch, a mindful breath. These are the quiet revolutions that sustain life. Kaizen extends beyond the body. It shapes the soul. The same patience that refines habits also refines thought. When improvement becomes a daily ritual, self-compassion replaces pressure. Failure transforms into feedback. Each day's small progress builds resilience against life's inevitable changes. This emotional steadiness is the hidden foundation beneath Japan's visible health. The secret that keeps Japanese women slim is not a secret at all, but a way of living, one that honors process over perfection. Their grace is the product of thousands of small, kind choices repeated with humility and purpose. And as the sun rises once again over clean tatami floors and warm cups of tea, life continues, not in pursuit of balance, but in its quiet daily practice.